Morning, morning. Okay, guys, so we are live on the community and YouTube. TikTok, if you are commenting, I won't be able to see it here for about the next 30 minutes, but I'll try to get to them when I'm done. So let's talk a little bit about our trades yesterday. As you guys know, if you've been following, we trade the SPY on options. All or most of all of our cryptos traded automated. So let's talk about the 2 minute on the SPY. So the open yesterday was, if I can slide to the time here. So somewhere right here. Yeah, this gap right here. So, when I talk about yesterday, and I do this every day, is that I stay mostly put. Um, I'm not against taking calls. People in the room take calls. I've taken the occasional call, but when I do it, I set a really tight stop loss because the potential of our pullback, to come down this way is pretty great, right? And you don't want to fight that all the way down. So there's plenty of opportunities still to take those puts. So you can see our indicator actually crushed it, right? Called that short. We had a nice little scalp there, took our profit. On this pump up here, it actually stopped me out. And then I actually waited yesterday, most all the day. It was pretty wild. I didn't take this one. I don't know if other people in the room did or not. I think one person actually hopped in on this one. And then, we did get the garlic crab. So once I saw this kind of double peak here, I actually entered my later in the day trade somewhere up in this range when I started to see that bearish pullback. The thing that really stuck out to me on the 2 minute was not only did we get the kind of this double top, we had the garlic crab, but we got the rejection off of the EMA, right? So we broke the I'm sorry, this one would be the SMA. So we broke the SMA and we found the rejection, right? So this is just such a great entry. I did close it a little bit early towards the end of the day because as it fell down here, I was in really good profit. I was able to trail that. And so this pump up here stopped me out and then it fell, right? So it happens. I didn't catch this part here, but overall it was just such a great day. So when we say we're staying put only, guys, it still can be very profitable even in these pumps. But the thing I'll tell you guys is when we're high in this range like this, you have to work a little harder, right, to catch those scalps in the uptrend, trying to find that top. But at the end of the day, once we do flip and we start riding that train back down, I mean, you're talking, that's when you're getting those really massive wins, like the, 6, 7, 10 grand, per trade type wins. So, we're getting really close to there, guys. Just be strong. We got, the Fed speaking today. My anticipation on this, everybody, I think in the world's anticipation is that it's going to be bullish, which is why the market's already built it in. I want to, the thing I'm curious about, guys, and if you guys are in the room, the things around 2 o'clock, I will have the room open by 2 o'clock for sure, and we'll meet just because I love to trade the news together with you guys. The interesting thing I'm kind of thinking right today is that we're gonna have a nice, push up pre-news because think about it, everybody and their mama's bullish on this thing, and every now and then when I was new, I used to get so confused because the news would be overly bullish, but yet we would pull back. And I would be taking a long thinking, yeah, the news is bullish. Everybody's saying we're bullish. Like, take that long on the scalp. And then you're just getting wrecked. You're watching it just pull back, and it's like, what is going on, right? But what you learn as a trader is most of the news is already built into the market. So we have pumped up as high as we have because people are bullish, because people anticipated a CPI coming out strong. They're anticipating no interest rate hikes. So when you're overbought in a position that we're at right now, which we are, if the news comes out what is expected, it's kind of like a buy the rumor, sell the news situation, right? So people hype up the news. And then all those hedge funds, trust me, they're not buying up here. All the big money bought way, way, way down here. We're actually further down on the higher time frames. And so once that news hits, a lot of times they buy it in the anticipation of the news. Once the news actually hits, they're going to take their profit. And that's what typically causes that pullback, right? Because the price is already built into the market. But also remember market makers have a job to clear liquidity. And that's why when you see news events, you're going to see pump like this and dump like this, and then you see the true direction, right? So just be really careful. My suggestion to you, if y'all want to trade the news today, do it. Um, a lot of people say set tight stop losses. I don't say set tight stop losses. I say use an appropriate volume that, one, you're okay with if you lose, and two, use a volume that you have plenty of buy power to work your way out if it goes against you. The reason why I say that is 9 times out of 10 traders will say, I'm going to trade the news, but I'm going to set a stop loss. They'll find your stop loss because the market makers will use that liquidity that's coming in to shoot a wick up that will stop everybody out. It's intentional. That's why they do it. You're not genius by saying, hey, I'm going to set my stop loss just above this previous high. The whole world is that, and people know that. So if you're going to set a tight stop loss, you might as well just not trade because you're probably going to get wrecked. It's going to hit it, whether it goes your direction or not. So just a little, insight for the news. If you guys are wanting to see how we trade the news, you guys can come in, botjock.com, and we will have a room open. So that's kind of the SPY, guys. Since I'm already on the SPY, we can touch on it. So there's some interesting stuff going on in the SPY because the pre-market is above this red line. This red line was not massive, but it was big, right? We had a 2-point touch here on an uptrend, and it's just shattered through it. Now, can it hold it, right? We're holding that in pre-market. If you look at the order blocks here from our Harmonic Tracker Pro, it's saying we can get as high as 448, which is possible, right? I mean, if you look at, we created a higher high than we had back here in 2022, and we've shattered all this stuff, right? So the next resistance stop is pretty much around there, right? So it's very possible. So if we continue to hold support on this trend line, which I would be extremely shocked if we do, but if we do, then you should be worried, right? If you're in puts, because it's probably going to go up to about 448, because we're now turning resistance into support, right? Which is why we marked this yellow line. I'm actually going to bring it down just a little bit. I want to watch that peak there. And so if you zoom in here, like this, you can kind of see this is that line to watch. If we stay above this line and we hold it as support, man, the next move is just going to be really big up. But keep in mind, when it's high in the range like this, the only thing that typically can push it past, because there's not a lot of people that want to buy up here, is going to be news, right? And so we have news today. So this news is going to either pump us up or it's going to gap fill us. And so the gap fill currently is down, because if you zoom out, you can see we have had just an absolute tear without an actual decent pullback like we've had here. So you had a pump, you had a pullback, you had your pump, you had your pullback, and we've just been on a tear. So there has not been a pullback. So I would suspect at some point we're going to pull back to at least the 404, maybe 410. I think the lowest or the highest would be somewhere on this trend line around 411. I think it's gonna happen, right, over the coming weeks. And so if you look at the 1 hour, guys, I mean, we're just so overbought right here. We are in a deep red zone. There was some divergence here, a little bit here, nothing crazy, right? Because you got equal highs and you got higher highs pumping up. So just play your range, guys. And if you're not sure or you continuously getting wrecked, you should come into the room and we'll help you out just trying to understand those charts. So I did spend a lot of time on the SPY. I'm not going to spend a ton on the SPX. SPX is pretty much charted the same. We had that rising wedge. Now, it did break that rising wedge. We did create that higher high. The high that I would say it would potentially chase would be somewhere between 4,500 and 4,630, something like that. Keep in mind we do have the Bollinger Band here, and we are overbought, right? So a healthy pullback is needed. People that are bullish, anybody who's been trading for a while knows, even if you're a bull, unless you're in a long or a call, right, you don't want it to go straight up like that. You just don't, because it's not sustainable. It's going to come back, right? And all those people are going to get wrecked. So, if you're already in a trade, you probably want that so you can make some quick bag, right? But then you're going to close it. But do not chase these candles. Do not, mark my words, guys. If the Fed meeting comes out bullish and you're not in a long and it just runs, don't chase it, because you're going to get absolutely destroyed. And then if it comes out, equal, or you see the market start to really tank, you're not in the short, before that meeting. You're going to want to let that play out, wait for the retest, and then identify the trend and then chase the trend. Don't chase the candle. You can chase the trend, don't chase the candle. You chase the candle, I promise you're going to get wrecked. You might as well just delete your money. So let's move on a little bit because spent a lot of time on that. I'm not going to touch deep on the tech stocks. Apple's continuing to try to fight this previous all-time high. It's still a little bit up. It's holding strong. We'll see if the news can push that over. You got Microsoft's a little bit down. You got Google's a little bit down, and Amazon's a little bit up. So a little balance in between the tech stocks. If for those who wonder, I follow those tech stocks because I do trade the SPY, and those impact those mostly. Bitcoin, let's touch on. So for Bitcoin, as you guys know, I've been kind of talking about this rising channel that we have here, which typically after a fall, rising channel usually falls again. There was an entry call back here at 25,765, but keep in mind that was back here, so it already played out to TP5 actually, so it was a fantastic call. We have not got a long call yet. If you're using our indicators, you guys know I like to revert back to the 1 hour because it's just so accurate when it comes to those things. And so if you want to hang out and wait for that long call on the 1 hour, if you're more of a longer term trader, you guys, I highly suggest that. On the 1 hour, so long as we stay below this 200 EMA, it's bearish. But I want you to remember this, guys, on crypto, and think about this. The only reason crypto is not pumped like the stock market did is because of the fear, the SEC lawsuits, all this stuff going on, right? The exchanges, there's a lot of fear and distrust. If anything is said, it would just take one positive something by the government or who knows, Gensler being fired, and crypto will catch up. And for those who do not think that we can go from 26 to 29K or back to 30K like that, you guys have not been in crypto long enough. So just be really careful, guys, because we are already gap filled. Remember, we talked about that. Not only are we gap filled, that I've been waiting for forever, we are holding support really strong at that 25.3, and we're holding higher, higher lows so far. So, the news is going to be a big factor on that. The zone tracker is on the 1 hour calling this as heavy support now. So we could get, a break of this channel and then a retest here. If it breaks and it retests here, I mean, the explosion is going to probably be pretty good. I do have a low still, guys. I haven't changed it, of down here around 24K. This would be my low of lows. If the news somehow comes out bearish, right, I would see almost an immediate or a very quick fall down to that level, or at least, into this low level, like low 25 range. If the news is bullish, I would see us flipping this 200 EMA. We'll get our long call, and we're likely to pump probably directly up into this range here on 26.7, 26.8. This would be the high. I've been following this channel here for a while. You can see it's got a bunch of touches on it here. So this would kind of be the ceiling. I would see if we do break this, we'll probably break up here 26.5, retest it, and then start working our way up to here, right? Unless the news, like I said, is really bullish, and crypto, communities start to believe, hey, news is bullish, like let's buy now because they believe the SEC thing will just blow over. ETH is looking actually a lot stronger than Bitcoin, so be really careful on your ETH shorts because if you notice, ETH is not having that kind of rising channel. It's actually in more of like an accumulation phase where we had our fall and it's just holding, right? I mean, it's not able to break higher, not able to break lower, it's just holding. So typically, if we don't get that rising pattern, if Bitcoin gets even slightly bullish, you're going to see a down over up situation, right? Where we'll pump right back to about 1840 or so with that news. Now, keep in mind, no matter what this is doing, if Bitcoin breaks that channel and it does collapse because the news is not as good as we thought, then that will break down. And my low level I have is around 1620, something like that. It might get a nice little bounce off here, 1698, but this is the low of low levels. So that is why I'm okay running still on the longs with ETH, because we do have DCA protocols, right? So even through the news, you're gonna see I'm gonna continue to run what I'm running, and I may even actually add a little bit more. We're gonna jump into that. So Let's jump into the ATA section. For those of you guys new to the channel, this is where we do automated trading. Super exciting. In the community last night, we did a pre-launch on copy trading. What does that mean? What it means is this huddle that is being recorded every single day, I will be making changes to the ATA, or I will at least cover where they are. Typically spend about 10-15 minutes on that, depending how many I have. So what the copy trade does is, in my alerts here, you can see these are the ones we set up last night that have been firing on people's accounts. We tested it all thoroughly. Last night we were monitoring everybody's who were firing, and all is working flawlessly, so we are super, super excited about it. You know, the purpose I want to talk about a little bit for the people that are watching this of the copy trade program is our technology is not difficult for most people, right? So I'm going to open, we'll just open up BTC here. And, you know, for those who are pretty tech savvy, or you guys understand a little bit about trading, you know, you guys know this is an indicator. We literally built this where you just choose a few settings and you set the alert, and that's it, right? Even something as simple as that, some people just struggle, right? And so, you know, they struggle either making a TradingView account, or they struggle with setting up alerts, or they struggle with the indicators. The good news about CopyTrade, guys, it wipes out everything to do with TradingView on your end. You actually don't even need a TradingView account. So when you do the CopyTrade program, you just sign up for your ATA. When you go into your BotJock setup section here, if you notice on the introduction here, we talk about copy trading. So copy trading, you literally skip 1 through 3. You only have to follow instructions on 4 and 5, and you don't need 6 and 8. So when you come down here, all you have to do is this little section here. You connect your exchange, right? Once you have that added, and then you do this little section here, and that's it. And you enable your copy trading, and you're done. I mean, the moment you have your exchange funded, you can have your copy trade set up, linked, and trading within 5 minutes. All right. Just super easy, and we wanted that purposely because there's people that just don't want to deal with TradingView, right? They don't even want a TradingView account. They just want to trade. They just want to make money, right? And so that's why we built this. So, you know, let our company handle the TradingView side of it, handle the settings for you. You know, and if if you're coming in, you're just curious about it, all you got to do is click on training here, and you can come down into this section and you can see what all of our ATAs are about. If you're concerned of transparency of copy trading because you've been burned in the past, all of our copy trading will be recorded. It's all these trades are going to be executed by me. I don't place the trades, just to be clear. I just choose the direction. But you'll see my TA as far as the directions that I'm wanting to choose. And it's all recorded in here. So let's say, this one actually, you can see 6:14. It's being recorded right now. That's how quick it is. And then you could literally here, I'll just do this, and then we'll get back to the TA. So it pops up here. You can see I'm literally talking as we speak. So it's all live, right? Instant. So super excited about the copy trade program. So everything that I was showing on my Gambit yesterday, watch that video if you did not see it. I did instruct people how to get out of those trades. I'm still running Gambit. I'm just not going to be doing it on this trading view. I have multiple trading views, so I moved my Gambit signals over to my personal trading view. This is our company one. So the company one is now going to be linked to a Goliath account. The purpose of the copy trade is I will be executing directional decisions based on TA, and you can see it will execute the trades on its own. But the beauty is you have the ability to follow me without having to actually modify settings in case you miss a meeting or whatever, right? So it's going to be extremely awesome. I always get this question, no extra fees, guys. If you have a membership, you just click a button and you're enabled. It's really simple. But let's talk about it. So we did set up Bitcoin yesterday, so let's do a little dive into it. So I'm going to mute the short. Let's take a look at the long. Looks like we did take a long. It did pull back. The DCA section is here. We did not get below enough to DCA, so it's just kind of hanging out. The market, I didn't expect too much this morning because, pre-news, the market just doesn't really do much, right? So I didn't really expect a whole lot from it as far as trading. I mean, if you look at how sideways this is, I mean, we've been ranging from 25,823 to 26. I mean, that's like not even $200 like all night long, right? So not much, But this is where the power of ATAs come in, right? I mean, who wants to trade that? Who wants to sit there and stare at your screen when that's going on, right? You want to actually just go sleep, right? Or go spend time with your family and let the technology do it for you, right? I mean, it's super patient. So our long is in a long. We're not going to touch it. We set up long BTC. Y'all are still welcome to follow me if you're manually doing it. I'm still running SARS. I have my take profits set in scalping mode, which is default. We are running only one DCA, and that is when I close my candle. You can pause to read. So we're not touching that. Short, we did get a win, so that's awesome. Looks like I made about almost $9 on that trade last night, and we are in a short now. Here's the beauty is when you unmute both of them, look at this. So here's our long entry, here's our short entry. Like, I'm going to go off script on this one, but what a jerk. Since 6 a.m., it's just literally bounced in between our entries. Like, if you ever get that feeling, I laugh about this because those who trade, you guys know this, man. You always feel like market makers or like Bitcoin or whatever you're trading, like it knows your entry, right? You're like, man, because it just bounces off of it. I mean, this right here is a slap in the face. Like we are so well positioned in this ATA trade because if it goes up slightly, we win. If it goes down slightly, we still win, right? So, but it just has to move. So, let's take a look at the settings. Same thing, right? DCA1, TPs are the same, parabolic SARS, Bitcoin short, and then that is when we set our candle yesterday. So if you want to follow along, you're welcome. So we're good with Bitcoin. This is my to-do list. Y'all know that if you're used to following me. So we're going to go into the next one, which is Ethereum. Let's see what Ethereum did. Well, based on looking at this, probably around the same. So let's take a look at the longs first. Okay, so we did actually just get out of our long. That's cool. I was looking at this morning and we weren't out of it, earlier. So we did close our candle here last night. We did get a long. It kind of pulled back. Didn't quite get low enough for a DCA, but it did just get out. So we are not currently in a long right now. So it made like $3, something small. We did take a short here. It did get out immediately. It did take another short. So we are a little bit in a short, not much. I mean, our entry is like $7 away. So we're in good shape. Here's our DCA. With the news, I do not recommend anyways, but with the news for sure, running more than one DCA. You always want to run that second and third one, to protect from a parabolic movement. To kind of sum that up, your entry is one entry. These are a multiplier. So if you DCA one, that's 3 entries. So now your total of 4 entries in. The 2 and 3, right, are 5 and 5 multipliers. So this one right here, the DCA 2 is so huge because it's going to move your entry a little more than 50%, cut in half, right? So it's a very, very important DCA, and you'll see that as you watch these huddles. We strategically place those. So, but yeah, so ETH short, I'm not going to touch that one either. So, when you unmute both of them, this is how it looks. We got a short here. We took a long, got out of the short, took another short. We got out of our long. So we're in good shape, guys. We're looking pretty good. Even if we pump up on this short, I'm okay with it. It'll try to get out on this DCA. It typically does really well on the Fed meetings because the Fed's meetings are going to shoot it up, shoot it down, right? And so it's going to cause really big take profits for that. So because our TP7, which I think I have mine right here, is set like a ceiling. If it even comes down in a wick, it's going to kill it, right? So it's going to be a big win. So we're set up really well for this Fed meeting for those two. And then the last one we ran, I didn't go too overextended, was LTC long. I am going to start an LTC short, guys. Y'all know I love LTC. It's probably the largest gainer we have. Just the way that it moves is the algorithm picks it up so well. And you can kind of see that here because we are not in a short. So let me mute that. We have that close. We took our long. It made its profit. Took our long. Look at this. It bounced off our DCA line, right? And then it's right back at we're literally at our entry, right? So even the slightest move up and we're in good shape. The reason why I'm okay with taking a long is if we go to our 1 hour, you can see that we have heavy support here. We're finding heavy support here. Likelihood is we're going to see a nice push up. I am going to start the shorts, but I'm only going to do one DCA. And that DCA will be very, very patient before I do a second one, because if the news comes out bullish and we explode up and we begin to reclaim this side here, I will probably not open a second DCA until somewhere up in here, right, which will move our entry like considerably. So, but at the same time, this meeting, because there's no change expected in the interest rates, it could be a simple, push down, push up, range back in the middle kind of situation, right? So we want to capitalize on that. And I'm okay working my way out of LTC if I need to, if it goes somewhere. So let's go ahead and activate our short. For those who are running it, we're going to go short LTC. If you want to follow, you can do so. Parabolic SAR. We're leaving our take profit. We are still only running one DCA. And all I have to do is add in my closed candle, 2023, 6, 14, 8, 54. And all you gotta do is hit close trade on chart. Then just make sure you're on the 1 minute before you set any alert, if you're trying to do a scalp one or if you're following me. So you're gonna notice it resets the stats for you. We do have our close candle, so we can set that alert. So we're just gonna simply come over here. We're gonna add alert, ATA, LTC short, and create. So we're in business, guys. Let me see here. So we have so we got 1, 2, 3 pairs. Let's see, I would love to start one more on a long only, because I do think that we're gonna have a nice push up, but I might do Aave, guys, because if you look at Aave, when I was doing the TA, we literally visited our low back in 2022. It's the only altcoin that did that, and it had a nice, really, really strong bounce off of it, right? So I think I'm gonna do one extra bonus, and that is it, and we're gonna choose to do Aave. So let's go ahead and click on the 1 minute. But I'm only going to do long only. This is going to put me a little top heavy more on the longs, which I'm okay with. So we're going to go, because keep in mind, guys, these altcoins they have already took a pretty good beating, right? Could they go lower? I mean, absolutely, but we're so low in the range that the ATA, I think, will be able to manage it really well. But shorts could be very scary because one bullish news, right, and it could just parabolic up, right, which would get it stuck. So, so we don't want to overextend on the shorts. The goal of the ATA, guys, is to always keep something earning. Things are going to get stuck. It's going to happen eventually, right? But you always want to keep things earning as best you can, because as long as you're actually earning, right, then it doesn't matter if you're stuck in something, right? So what did I click wrong? 2023 614. Oh, what is going on? My mouse is freaking out on me. There we go. Yeah, if ever, guys, you don't get your yellow, it's not possible for it not to work. So just always check, if you're following me along, check this thing, right? You probably either missed a day or a time, or you missed your time zone. Most of the time I miss my time zone. So we have our yellow fractal, so we are good to set that alert. We are long Aave, big A futures. Okay, it all looks good. So ATA long Aave. And keep in mind, guys, Aave could fall down into this 51 area if we do come out bearish, right? But this fall is not, it's not all that scary. I mean, even if we came down to the low of 46, right? We can, if you think about it, the DCA 1 is going to pull your entry into 54, 53. Let's say we add a DCA 2, somewhere in this range here. I mean, that's going to pull your entry to here. And then we still have a 3 to do as well. So that 3 is going to basically pull us down into this lower range there. So I'm not going to go any more extended than this, guys. I'm going to do, so we have BTC running long short, ETH long short, ATA, we have Aave long, and then LTC long short. So I'm a little OCD when I check this stuff, so it drives me a little bit crazy that I put long Aave instead of Aave long. So if you ever make that mistake, guys, you can change this and you don't have to redo an alert. You just change, because this is just a name. It doesn't change the code, right? And so that makes it a little more uniform for me. It'll bug the heck out of me if it doesn't. Have it like that. So use your alert here as the to-do list, guys. So we know we have the Aave 1 minute. You can see it here. It has all the 1 minutes, right? So we know we're on the right time frame. We know Aave says Aave, Bitcoin's Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. You know, this is what I'm looking at, and they're all active. So we're ready to rock and roll. So you can see actually just now ETH actually took a long order. So ETH is back in business on that. But that's kind of where I'm at, guys. If you're following along, those who copy trading, that's where I'm at. Keep in mind, guys, my little disclaimer on the copy trading. If at any point you don't want to run what I'm running, all you have to do is take that little slider on your dashboard and turn it off, and it will not fire. So you know, you guys are welcome to manage that. If you guys want to just roll with it, because you guys have traded with me, or you've seen what we've done in the past, just leave it on, let it roll, right? I will caution or tell people, if you're copy trading, if you are only running 1 or 2 pairs and those 1 or 2 pairs get stuck, again, I will always try to find another way or another pair to continue to earn while something is stuck. So you may be stuck and not earning while other people are earning it, right? And sometimes it means if we get deep stuck, right, I will earn with 2, 3, 4 other pairs. And once we earn enough with those 2, 3, 4 pairs, if I don't like this other one because I don't think it's coming back, we'll just close it. And we're still net green, right? And that's the goal. So just be, I'm running this on my account. I mean, I don't want to get my account stuck or liquidated any more than I want to do yours. The last disclaimer for those on TikTok is, although I am running mine on a Goliath style account, which is a $20,000 account, you can run all the way down to Ultron, which is $1,000, and your ATA that is linked to your account is what determines your volume. So you will not have the same volume, you will not have the same profits unless you're running a Goliath as mine. But it will not put yourself in a situation where, most of the time in copy trade, somebody will have a massive account. You don't know how much they have. They start DCAing like crazy and you get your butt liquidated, right? Our account minimums are equally ratioed all the way down. So although I have a larger account, my volume is equally ratioed to what Ultron's volume would be. I'm going to try to keep this Goliath one at a minimum required balance, because if I can maintain a profitable sessions at minimum, right, then I know everybody else is good. But just, if you are following along, at least have that minimum in there. So and if anything's stuck, guys, we talk about it here. You guys can know my plan, and at the end of the day, you are 100% in control of your own funds. If you find you're stuck in something and you don't like my plan, or you see something I don't see and you're like, no, I don't like it, close it, right? You have that full power to do so. So, and if if you're copy trading, you always have the ability to turn that on and off whenever you like, right? So again, we want to make sure you guys are comfortable and you have full control over your account. So appreciate your time, guys, in the community. That's kind of what I got for today. We're gonna let that roll. I will open up the room and trade with you guys a little bit this morning. And we will also trade. We'll probably take a break for lunch, in between, and then we'll trade the news together. So as well. So super excited about that. It's gonna be a great day, guys. Appreciate your time, and TikTok's